Bonjour.
Bon
Steve
dia.
Santos Barlow, it's a delight to welcome you to Hansons World Football with, I suppose, what we might call an epic, an iconic shirt worn by probably the world's most famed player. Steve, tell me about this shirt.
Well, first of all, it's a great honor to be here, and it's a great honor to own this shirt. Yes, this shirt, actually, I remember. I'm from Brazil. I know Stephen Barlow is not a very Brazilian name, but my dad was from Manchester, and I grew up in the north of Brazil, quite a remote region from the big centers in the south. But Pele happened to be playing in my city when I was 10 years old, a city called João Pessoa. João Pessoa.
When you were 10 years old?
When I was 10 years old.
So what year was that, Steve?
1969.
I can't hear.
1969!
There we are.
And there was a big commotion on this day, obviously. Pelé coming to play in my city was a rare occasion. And the media was building up for this possibility of Pelé scoring the 1,000th goal.
Who was he playing for at the time?
He played all his life for Santos. And he was playing a lower league club, the club from my city
called
Botafogo. Botafogo. There's a more famous Botafogo in the south, but ours is Botafogo da Paraíba. Paraíba is the state.
Understood.
They were almost unheard of to some Brazilians. So if Pelé had scored 999 goals prior to this game, we obviously expected Pelé to score the 1,000th goal, which he proceeded to do. He tried not to score this goal because the next game would be Maracanã, where he would be acclaimed as a player, and it would be internationally recognized. But there was a penalty, and everybody wanted Pelé to score it. Pelé actually tried not to score it.
Why?
But I think there was probably the directors of the club wanted him to save this goal for Maracanã. But the crowd did not let him not take the penalty. And Carlos Alberto, who was a contemporary of his at the time, told him, Pelé, you'd better take this, because if you don't, we're going to be in trouble after this match. So he proceeded to take the penalty and score the goal.
This was the 14th of November, 1969.
Exactly.
And you were at the game, Steve?
I wasn't, unfortunately, but I remember the build-up to the game. I was only 10 years old. My father was a bit unsure of taking a 10-year-old kid to a small stadium, which would be obviously packed. I saw him in the only other time he played when I was a kid. And obviously he was sensational. But I didn't go to this game, but I remember the circumstances very well. And I remember how people were kind of resentful a little bit because Pelé did not want to score this goal in my city at the time.
But he did.
He did.
And of course, beside us, and I'm feeling, well, quite humbled and honoured. It was a humble game. Obviously, it wasn't on the big stage. Was there a big attendance there, Steve?
Yeah,
was
it was completely jam-packed. Now, there is a controversy. At the time, the goal he scored was known as the 999th at the time. I think this actually makes the story behind the shirt even more interesting, because he had scored, according to what they had counted at the time, 998. So the goal he scored was actually the 999th at the time. But in the recount, some journalists have actually proven that there was one, actually Pelé himself called it the forgotten goal.
Against Paraguay.
Against Paraguay in 1959. So there's ample evidence that goal with this jersey was the goal which was Pelé's 1,000th.
So 10 years prior, in 59, that forgotten goal,
yes,
actually 10 years later, enabled that goal in that match in your hometown.
Yes.
And Pelé in this very shirt.
Yes, in this very shirt.
He wore in that year, 69.
Exactly.
It's a phenomenal shirt to sort of stand alongside, and I think to see and understand its match-worn condition. And
yes.
What we always like, Steve, at Hansons World Football and in the great market now for football memorabilia is provenance.
Mhm.
So you were 10 years old in '69.
Yes.
What happened to the shirt? Did he, because I would have thought you were 10 years old. Did he come over to you, throw the shirt in the crowd to a young boy, to his hero? What happened in that match?
I would love it to get it straight from the hands of Pele, but there was the next person to actually have the shirt, because the shirt actually belonged to this county councillor or the family. When he passed, his son inherited it.
Why did the councillor receive the shirt?
That's an interesting story. Pele had scored officially 998 goals. So because he was playing against the lower league club, he thought he'd probably, I mean, the whole city took for granted that Pele would score his 1,000th goal at the time. This was what actually made the whole commotion and made the game very interesting at the time.
So the councillor at the end of the match was awarded the shirt by Pele?
Yes.
Why?
He was actually the one who proposed that Pele receive the key of the city. And he, in a little bit in a shy way, asked Pele if he had plans for the jersey after the game, and Pele promised him on the event where he actually gave the key of the city, if you actually stand by the Santos bench, I will make sure this shirt gets to you. And I have the newspaper clipping from the next day, the 15th of November, which said, prior to the game, Pele promised Councillor Derivaldo Mendonça he would give him the jersey. And he proceeded to do, he made his promise good. Pele threw the jersey to him when he went to play in goal, because there's this interesting fact that Pele played in goal after scoring that one goal at the match. And he shouted, here you are, Mr. Councillor, your will is done.
Oh, how wonderful. So the shirt was given to that councillor.
Yes.
And seen in the press the following day on the 15th of November, '69. The day after this shirt was, of course, worn in that iconic 1,000th goal. What happened thereafter? It was in the councillor's family's
Yes. He was
collection.
always very proud of the fact that he received this jersey from Pele. And he would actually bring it out to show all his friends, whenever he had a guest in the home. When he passed, his son Reinaldo kept it in his wardrobe, and once he's published in Facebook, a Facebook book group about historical facts about my hometown. Look, I have this Pele jersey. My father received it straight from the hands of Pele. In Facebook, you can find who are the friends of somebody who posts anything. And my best friend from childhood was his friend.
Amazing.
So I told my friend he would have to make this connection. It probably took me about 18 months to convince him. But in the end, I did. Now we're actually friends. And he says, the reason why I pass it on to you, because you were pestering me so much, I wanted to get rid of you. Because I had an emotional connection with this jersey. He wasn't so much of a football fan as his father was. So he did not have this emotional connection, I think, as I always have, actually, especially after knowing that the shirt still exists.
Yeah. And obviously, you as a 10-year-old boy to now, you feel, Steve, it's time to let this shirt, I suppose, make its mark on the international football scene of collecting. It's a shirt which, like no other, achieved 1,000 goals of the player who it was worn within. And what's nice, Steve, it appears to be in very much that original condition to the day it was worn.
Yeah. I won't let go of this jersey that easily, but I have decided to do so. I would say two reasons especially. One, there's such a thing as family dynamics. There are reasons why I probably could have the resources to help. I have grandchildren, and they're starting their lives.
Are they footballers, Steve?
No, they're not big.
Have they got the talent? Have they got the Pele talent in Brazil? Or over here?
I wonder if the future generations ever will.
Yeah.
But somebody, I think, would do this eventually. And as you said, the world stage is something where this jersey deserves to be. So I would like to be the one to actually make this move and actually take off this chore from people who will eventually earn this jersey. I want to do it myself.
I think it's nice to preserve a shirt for prosperity.
Yes.
It's nice to plan when a shirt can't be split up in the family.
That's
And
fact.
of such a valuable type, I think it's important it's preserved perhaps in a museum or to a new collector who's going to give it a new lease of life. And just looking at the shirt, Steve, it captures, I suppose, that design of the late 1960s.
Yeah.
Of course, here is a great Santos emblem. Is there much more you can tell me about the shirt, Steve?
Yeah, well, Santos did not play with this collar type. In this match they did, but in Brazil we call it the Olympic type,
That's
which
right.
goes around the neck. These two sides are for, there was nothing as an international World Club competition. There was, I think it was called the Interclubs, which usually the final was played in Europe. The two times that Pelé played for Santos, he won both occasions. Once against Internacional de Milan and the other one against Benfica. So that's where the two stars come from. I think they still wear this nowadays with pride.
So, Steve, we'll turn the shirt around. I'll let you turn it around very carefully. It's on the back.
With great pleasure.
What can we see, Steve?
Yeah, real football supporters, I think that they like to see this because even the type of font was quite unique from Pelé's times. It's actually a burden, I would say, on current players to play number 10 Brazil. Sometimes you don't have number 10 because a lot of players prefer another number because they realize the weight of the jersey, number 10. But this wasn't true prior to Pelé. But it has become quite a myth playing with Brazil's number 10 since Pelé.
It's just incredible to see. And I think what I like about the shirt is sometimes I think in generations gone by, before this market became what it is today, a condition where it's cleaned. And what's nice, I don't think anyone has ever washed this shirt.
No.
And we can see markings here of maybe the pitch, the sweat, the man himself, the greatest, Pele, in this shirt, scoring that goal to make it 1,000. It's an absolute honour to see it, Steve. And I think what we will do is obviously add to that provenance by undertaking all of that check to ensure that we can give this shirt that gravitas to really appeal in our auction at Wembley in April. And to a football fan in yourself, Steve Santos Barlow, thank you for giving us this opportunity of taking this shirt to the Towers of Wembley in our auction in April. And of course, details are on our website and details below of how you can bid, take part, view the auction coming up. And Steve, thank you for giving us the opportunity of handling a worldie, a goat of a footballer, and a shirt to match, which to stand beside a player, his achievement in scoring so many goals and giving football that legacy that no player in my eyes has matched just yet. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Thank you very much indeed.